Hello, hello. Happy Monday, April 6th, 2026. How is everybody? Russell, Colin, Juicy. How's everybody over there in YouTube land? David, hello. Nick Enthusiast, happy. Why are you happy? Tell us why you're happy. Share, spread the love. You're ready for the fun to begin. Uh yeah, yeah. I spent a ridiculous amount of time. It wasn't too long. Um, Spring, Eastertide, bees, flowers. Yeah. We had hail this morning. That was fun. It's all melted now, but uh, I spent a ridiculous amount of time this morning looking for my sailor maintenance kit. And for the life of me, I couldn't find it. I was like going nuts. I was tearing stuff apart, looking in boxes. I was certain it was here. And it was in some miscellaneous box over in my shipping area. I don't know why, but I did find it. So there we are. Let's see what happened this weekend. Not much. Picked up my car on Friday, so that was exciting. It actually started, and then I set off the alarm. Inside, I set off the alarm while I was inside the car, and I had taken my coat off with my keys in it and thrown it on the passenger seat. And I couldn't find my keys, and so meanwhile, my car is honking up a storm, and it's inside this unit, and it's echoey. And it took me a little bit to find my keys to finally turn it off. Which is funny because you set off the alarm while in your car too. Like, I didn't know mine had one. Like, this was news to me. Yeah, put the battery back in, got in the car, and then yeah, I don't know. So that was fun. It fired up right away, so that was great. It did not rain at all on the trip home. And then it poured the remainder of the weekend. So I apparently hit the 45 minutes of the weekend that did not rain. It was when I drove my car back home. So on some, putting the battery in would trigger the alarm. Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually taken. See, that's the thing. I've never actually taken the battery out. I've usually charged the battery while it's in the car, except since it's at this particular storage unit, there's no electrical outlet there, so I had no choice. It was either that or, buy a new battery, but even that would have been a bad idea. So, but no, it fired up right away. Drove great. Got it home, and I'll be taking it to the Chicago Pen Show, which is literally coming up in what, little over 3 weeks. Which is I can't believe it's coming this soon. Yeah, it's back where it belongs. Yeah, I'm gonna make some adjustments to my garage this year so that I can actually drive it, because I don't drive it hardly at all. Because I don't like my garage, and I don't like getting out of the garage, and I don't like getting in the garage. And I need to fix that. Otherwise, it's just foolish for me to keep having this car. But I'm not going to get rid of it. So I need to fix that problem. I'm going to fix that problem. So, your last job when you retired, the owners of the business had moved their family from Vermont to Maine in one car. Got here and locked the car, only to realize all 4 sets of keys were in the car. I'm garage-ophobic. No, the problem is there's a huge drop-off at the edge of the garage. and then there's a ramp that leads down into the alley. And so the car bottoms out and makes this horrific noise, backing out, pulling in. It's just awful. It's just awful. It takes paint off the rocker panels. I mean, it's just, you can see blue on the cement because that's what color my car is. Where it hits where it bottoms out, it's just terrible. So I choose not to damage it any further by not driving it, which is really kind of stupid. But it is what it is. So I know Lisa and I have got a couple of trips planned this summer already, and we want to take the vet. So I got to get that fixed. And some of this stuff has to get fixed before Chicago because I'm bringing it so Lisa can have the other car. But anyway, yeah, that was about the extent of my weekend. Slept, took a nap, rode my bike. That was that. So, today, let's see what we got today. I have a quick little Esterbrook job to do here. We got to seal this guy back up. I guess we did not test these two pens, and we can put this Conway back together and we can test those, and then these three can be done. I did a very brief search for, I have a Swan like this somewhere. But I ran out of time. I had to run an errand today. I had someone stop in the shop. So I had about 2 hours of the day where I didn't get anything done. So I'm still gonna, in fact, I think the other pen is gray, believe it or not. So I'm hoping to be able to make one pen out of the two. We can put this one together. I guess we can do that. Your parents had a caddy that would bottom out just about anywhere, especially over railroad crossings. It's such a terrible noise. Now I don't mind the front air dam, which is actually plastic and is on springs, and that hits everything. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that noise. It sounds bad. I've gotten used to it, but it's a replaceable part. But scraping on your rocker panel just makes me nutty. It just makes me nutty. The order I sent out on Friday is going to be, it's going to hit you today. Wow. That's quick. I guess because Friday, Saturday, geez. Awesome. So we got a couple pens to assemble, and then I have a bunch of pens to clean. I bought some pens on Friday, and then I have some other things that I want to use here it is. This is basically the Sailor maintenance kit, the big part of the Sailor maintenance kit here. So, excuse me. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna put this all in here. Up. What is going on here? You're waiting for the notification of the jellyfish. They are going to be in on Thursday. They are scheduled to arrive on Thursday. And I do see I've got a number of notifications in. Typically what I recommend is if you get the notification, do not delay. And notifications go out in order of when they were signed up. And then basically then they go out. You plan to be on top of it. Good. I can double check too for you later. And basically they go out on the hour. Actually, I think they go out on the 5 or 10 minutes after the hour on an hourly basis. So when you get the notice, you have an hour before the next notice for that particular pen is. You signed up during the podcast on Friday? Yeah, let me see if I can look here. So basically you get an hour. I have way too many windows open. Just going to open a new window. But that way everybody gets a chance. And now obviously if somebody goes to the website at that time and sees it, there is a possibility they could. Yeah, you got so many windows open. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, it's not letting me. It wants to send me a verification code that's actually not coming, so. Hey, Gabriel. You have way too many tabs over. You know, so it was really funny. Once, a friend of mine heard that I'm a tabaholic and suggested this application. I forget what the name of it is. Dustin, afternoon. How are you? I forget what the name of the application was, but it was essentially a tab manager. It allowed you to put all your tabs into like a side tab. And then you could go and you could call them up when you needed to. Except the problem was I had all these side tabs and then I just kept building on top of it. So it really didn't work for me because I just, I'm not good like that. This J bar is not working for me. You have about 500 open at any given time. Yeah, that's how I feel. Oh, it's like I actually have tabs probably from last year that I opened because we talked about them on the stream. But I wanted to continue some research on it, and I didn't. I didn't finish what I wanted to do. Your phone takes about 800 tabs. 800 tabs. I know I have like 49, I think is what I have right now. You're a compulsive tab closer. You wind up closing ones you need. Lisa is that way. What drives me nuts is like if she's like using like the shipping computer or like my laptop, if we're trying to do something, she just starts closing stuff. I'm like, no. You need a spring cleaning. Do I have plenty of the jellyfish coming in? I don't have a lot. There was not a lot. If I sell out and if there are still more, I will buy more. But I tried that last time with the Royal Tangerine, and by the time I went back to order more, they were all gone. You have 3 instances of Chrome open, each with multiple tabs, different tasks and projects, and I'll close each as you complete. Yeah. Yeah, you've got it under control. The rest of us here, we've got like Tabaholic Anonymous or something. Well, the other thing is on this computer that I'm using right now, I only use for streaming. I use it for nothing else. It's reasonably old. So anything related to streaming or repairs, I usually just keep that stuff open. I have a bunch of pictures of an Aiken Lambert magic pencil from when I was trying to fix that. If y'all remember that, I know David, you do. Yeah, you get an idea to research, you want to get back to it, then something else catches your attention. Yeah. I have some Esterbrook research that I really need to actually document. That's on this machine, and I don't want to have to go find those old ads again. I have some Conklin research. What I need is I need like an assistant, and I need like 3 weeks off to rest, and then a week or 2 just to do research. Desk sets, I don't know that there's any desk set research on here, but there's early Esterbrook research, early 30s V-clip stuff. All right. This I needed to take care of for somebody real quick. I'm going to do this later. I don't want to get any sticky stuff on my fingers. We can assemble these. See if we can get these to right. Then we get on to the meat of the matter today, which is just going to be We're just going to chew the fat, and I have a bunch of pens to clean. By a bunch, I mean a bunch. Your company needs to offer a research fellowship that you could award to yourself. That's like one of the greatest ideas. I like that idea almost as much. Every once in a while I go and I rewatch the old podcasts, um, just to kind of get a sense of what's going on and see what it's like on the other side of the camera, and what works, what doesn't work. And I remember once where there was a suggestion that we need to have sponsorships for shelves for the desk set collection. I love that idea. You can pick which desk sets you want to have on your shelf. Next stream, watch me research. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. What a snoozer. What a snoozer. All right, these two we put together. We didn't do anything with them. Dustin, one thing you didn't get when you were here on Saturday was a desk set. I thought there was plenty of room left in that your shopping bag. Oh, we had a nice visit. Lots of room. There are like Terry Mayhardy always says. We used to say in the auction, I have higher numbers available. There are more bags available. You would get your brother to review applications for the fellowship. He would be sort of impartial. I look forward to having dinner with the two of you in DC. Lisa's very excited about that as well. You finally cataloged the Groff on Faber-Castell inks, huh? Like Congress approving its own pay raise. Well, a little different in this case, maybe. Be in DC Thursday through Sunday. Yes. Yeah, leaving Sunday morning. I believe we're leaving Wednesday. Lisa's taking half of Wednesday off so we can get halfway. Wednesday night. trick is trying to get this in the slot. Get to the show by 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. on Thursday. We're going to try our best. This just doesn't. If you're in the mood, you're almost twisted to give your seminar again this year. Oops. The Vanishing Point seminar? Or the pen repair seminar? The Esterbrook Resac seminar. I know. I would definitely go check that out. Watch out, the restoration workshop will be presented by Cardinal Pen. Yeah, I don't think so. There's not enough time in the day. You can text Barbara now. Yeah, I bet you can. You do that. Tell her hi for me. There we go. I think I got it. Well, this just does not. Well, what the heck is going on here? This is what I hate about these, because you got to go at it from the reverse angle. There we go. Oh my God. But then now we just have to pray. That nothing bad happens to this sack, and we don't know. Vanishing Points again. You think you've done it too many times, but they asked me for it again. I filled the room each time, so I guess get the people what they want. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'll check it out. I'm sure Lisa'd love to see it. Nope. Man, I hate these things. I hate these sometimes. I puncture this sack too. Son of. Yep. All right, that we're gonna just leave for another day. Yeah, I bet Lisa would love to do that because she's not. I mean, she has a purpose in going to the show, but this I got to heat up. And besides, how am I going to find any pens if you are not on the floor looking for pens? You were responsible for like half of my purchases at the show in Baltimore. Yeah, this button doesn't come out though. This is a whole. Usually on these. You can pull this whole thing out. It does come out. I've never gotten one of those out ever. I was going to take the vac wrench on it, but usually it goes in there just fine. Well, you learn something new every day, huh? It's a British equivalent of a 61. Barrel doesn't come off. Oh, the Platinum 100 capillary. You bought a Schaefer 100 that has 3 different designs on it: bamboo, pine cones, and another. I forgot which the third is on it. Well, they made those in 3. They made that series in three configurations. One was, oh gosh, I forget what the heck they were. One was bamboo. One was like pine needles, and the other one was something else. So, Burgundy Legacy, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. No idea. I don't know what takes them so long. Like, I just want to say, stop being cross. Stop coming out with the same pen in black, black with chrome, black with a chrome cap, chrome with gold trim. Colors. People want colors. Yeah, Burgundy would be a huge seller. Huge. Like I just want to say, but I know what the response is going to be. But well, the chrome with gold trim, the Medalist is our best seller. Black with chrome is classic. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You look at every other manufacturer, and they're coming up with colors. I mean, yeah, okay, so maybe the custom 912 is, any color you want as long as you want a black with rhodium trim. But you can custom 74s in colors. You know, Metropolitans in colors. You can get Sailors in every color of the rainbow. Maybe too many colors. Maybe they've gone the other end. But there are options, and people want options. Not everybody wants a black pen. And sometimes people don't mind black, but they already have a black pen. How about like a navy blue? Wouldn't that be great? Navy blue with rhodium trim. How sexy would that be? If you see a Star Wars, Harry Potter, or Ferrari themed Schaefer before we see nice colors in the staples, then I will be sad. I mean, that just might be the end of it, right? Yeah. Ford had 3 choices of car colors: black, black, or black. Yeah. Yeah, even Mont Blanc has more colors these days. Yeah, you can get a 149 burgundy now. Ah, damn. I mean, it was. I remember it was a big deal when they came out with platinum trim, and then rose gold trim, and so like, holy cow, you can get three different 149s. Now you can get it in burgundy. Yeah, navy would be great. Navy would be great. Yeah, like somebody mentioned the other day. I forget who it was. Probably one of you guys here, guys or gals. All the colors of the original PFM. Burgundy, that green is phenomenal. Give us the green. Make me want to collect them. Because right now you either like black with rhodium or you like black with gold. That means you buy one. One. Very few people are going to buy both of those pens. And don't get me started on nibs. I mean, at least we got fine and medium now, but like a broad would be a stub. Yeah. Yeah, 3 nib options, 4 or 5 colors. Because you'd get people who would buy. They would buy 2. They go, I want the burgundy and the green. Yeah, it's just nuts. Now, what do we say this is? This 28? This is not 28. It's 26, 22, 24. It gets to 20 sell. I don't know. Black, gray. Gray would be interesting. Dark gray, and for the most extreme choice, light gray. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, right? With the Ferrari logo on it. I tell you, I'm glad that whole nonsense is over with. There was like one. Yeah, red would be fun. There was one decent Schaefer Ferrari. And I think it was I forget if it was the VFM or the 100, because it had the Ferrari logo at the top of the cap. That's the barrel end, but top of the cap. And it wasn't like an obnoxious, like the 300s, the Ferrari logo just attached to the clip. It just looked goofy. I will say the Schaefer Ferrari display that they had at the time was really very nice. In fact, I used it well after the fact for other pens because it was just so nice. Big, heavy, thick glass, dark red base, and then of course all the Ferrari themed blocks and all that stuff. Yeah, really nice. Just like this pen. But yeah, no more Ferrari stuff. And world doesn't need any more Harry Potter anything. I'd like to see that ship be sailed. Yeah, and the Star Wars, the Schaefer Star Wars. Oh man. I tell you what though, I sold a bunch of those in the little Schaefer pop. What killed me though was when Cross bought it and decided it might be the most true statement ever made on this stream. I don't know. When Cross bought Schaefer, this cracks me up. They retooled the pop rollerball so that it took a Cross rollerball refill instead of the Schaefer rollerball refill. Like, Steam Pen's not a favorite of yours? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it has its place sometimes. But yeah, so they took an actual perfectly good working pen, and they spent money to retool it so they could use their refill. Like, that's just great. Used to frustrate me to no end because people would come in then after the fact and they'd say, "Oh, I need a rollerball refill for my Schaefer, my Star Wars Schaefer." Well, which one do you have? Because I think they may have made the change in the middle of production. So some took the Schaefer and some took the Schaefer was actually Waterman style anyway. But some took the Waterman style and some took the 8523 SH is what they called it. SH for Schaefer. Yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. And so every time I would like, oh man, I need a refill for this pen. Well, you got to bring it in. You got to bring it in, or you got to send me a picture of the refill because there's literally no way to match it up. Thank you, Cross. But I just want to see a company come out with, let's make some regular edition pens. Not everything has to be a freaking special edition, a collab. I hate that word, collab. Schaefer X, whoever. We just use the whole word. Collaboration. Nice pen. Really nice pen. A little bit of softness to it. You wish Esterbrook would do an Ozempic tie-in for a slimmer SD? Just a fad of the moment if something else new grabs everyone's attention. Yeah. I'm not crazy about how the direction Esterbrook has gone. Because everything is a pseudo special edition, limited edition, special nib you can't get the stinking nibs for. Here you go. Red cap, gold brown body, black finial, and bottom with gold metal accents and dual tricolor nib. You call it the Cardinal. The Peanuts theme. Oh, you went there. Was ugly in your opinion. David, do we need to go here? I ask for your help on this matter. I had a client ask for one. I ordered it for him. I will tell you, there is almost no margin in that pen. I think by the time all was said and done, I might have made $15. There was no margin for retailers. Why did someone you know have to buy all the Peanuts Esterbrook's? He was so excited. I was rendered speechless when I saw them in person. Hey, Gary. Yeah, I mean, I said something like, I'm glad you like them. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's not for me. It's not for me. And that's the thing, it's what I like about the hobby is not everything has to be about what I like, what you like. What you wanted to say is probably banned on Twitch. Yeah. So every pen that somebody makes is for somebody. Somebody's going to want it. But I don't have to buy it. And I especially don't have to buy it if I'm going to make $15 selling a $125 pen. I do it for this gentleman because he's a nice guy, really nice guy, great guy. He's been very loyal. He's been good to us. I happily do it again for him. I hope they sell out. I hope all the Snoopies sell out. Just like the Edsel. I kind of like the Edsel. I thought it was a good looking car. Then again, I also had two of them in my auto body class when I was in college. I told that story before. I took a night auto body class. And at the time I had a 64 Corvair Monza convertible. Super cool car. Whatever, and that's another, it's a perfect example. It was the perfect group of guys. Because I had this, I had the car that Ralph Nader hated, and these two other guys had Edsels that, apparently the whole world hated. And it was just, it was funny. It was just funny. But these two guys didn't know each other, and they showed up one day, each with 50, I think it was 58 or 59 Edsels. It was the funniest thing ever. Like, you guys don't know each other? Oh, you're best friends now. And my teacher was like this 80-some-year-old guy. He was great. He was totally old school. He looked at me, thought I was nuts. And he was the type of guy that if you came to class, you got a C. He never gave any. If you came to class and you actually did, you worked, you got a C. There was no B's, there was no A's, there was no D's. I guess if you didn't show up, you got an F, but it was C or nothing. So everybody got C's. This is funny. Ever see a Tucker? No, no. You would tell the distributor what they could do with their $15 profit margin. Well, there's a little more meat on the bone. The problem is I got to pay shipping to get it here, right? So there's $15. And it's I pay to ship it, so there's another close to $10. But yeah, it's not even full Keystone on that pen. It was a good looking car. If it showed up 2 years earlier, it probably would have been a hit. Well, that 59 Chevy was really a beautiful car. Almost bought a 59 once. That didn't fall through. Then I was looking at a 60 Cadillac. There was no money for that one. So I ended up with the 64 Monza. All day you've been getting USPS delivery notifications from December and January? Is it good stuff? Are you getting good stuff back? You're signing out. All right, Juicy. Take care. Well, I just don't like how this is. Oh yeah, and the other thing too is there are people who are discounting that Snoopy pen, which is the dumbest thing ever. I never understood that incessant need to freaking discount every single thing. Just stop it. It's got a little bounce to it. That's better. This one needs to seal up the section. The Snoopy pen looks like something you could buy in Temu for $9. And then when it arrives, you question your sanity. But it was $9. Not 125. Like you say, people are proud of their junk. They sure are. You know, for the most part, it's it makes the hobby interesting. For the most part. I'm glad I don't like everything. Temu. Reminds me of that time I was sitting and I was looking. AliExpress, Alibaba, one of those two. And they had Parker Jotters. Um, and I look at the pictures and I'm like, this thing is this is the real deal. I can't believe this. Boxes that say, you know, Parker on them. And so Lisa and I say, you know what? Well, let's get some samples here, because we sell a lot of Jotters. We used to anyway. It's easier to sell in the store than it is just online. I don't sell very many now, but anyway. So we ordered the samples. I remember we were on vacation when we were doing it. And they came in and we looked at them and I'm like, I elected not to pay extra for the box. They sure looked like a Jotter. They weren't a Jotter. The refills even said Parker, but the parts are not interchangeable. Spurfield Press is on a jag of doing theme pens and inks right now. Well, that's kind of always been their bag, hasn't it? I just want somebody to come out with regular inks. Regular inks. Regular pens. Regular colors. 4, 5, 6 colors max. Keep them for a couple of years. The problem is they make all these really great limited and special editions. And they're you look at them and you go, you could sell 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 in this color. But no, you limited it to 500 or less, you know. Jotter tribute pen, yeah. It looked just like one. But the click mechanism was really weak. It rattled. You could tell right away. Like, no. And I thought for a second, I thought, well, how cool would that be? Like, you know, maybe we could swap parts and, you know, have cool barrels on, I don't know. It didn't work out. They wouldn't fit on regular Jotters. Just going to put a little shellac on there. your understanding, Sailor has the most limited edition when it comes to pens, or is it that just the standard to have a crazy amount of limited edition colors? Well, so we need to define limited edition and special edition. Sailor actually doesn't have that many limited edition pens, at least that make their way to the US. But they have a ton of special edition pens. The difference, basically, special edition is a limited edition without a number. They actually make very few limiteds. When they came out with which is why I was surprised when they came out with the Blue Dawn, which is a really, really super good looking pen. Really good looking pen. It was actually it was shocking to hear that the price wasn't any different than a regular Pro Gear. And it was a good looking color, and it had a number. And those did really well. I had customers buy two. One to use and one to ink and one to keep. Pilot does a lot more limited editions in Japan, probably dozens a year. Special editions for them are much fewer in number, just one or two a year, it seems. Yeah. Like, there doesn't seem to be there's not really a special edition in the US. I mean, it might be a North American exclusive, like that green 743. If you really want to get confused, you look at Retro 51's definitions, because they have pens that are not limited editions, that are numbered editions. They have special editions, they have limited editions, they have numbered editions. And what we came to find out is that when we did our Terabyte, the green Terabyte, we did it as a limited edition, and they numbered it. And when we wanted to order more, they said, well, we can't do that because it was a numbered limited edition. And so we said, okay, well, we're going to make a new edition then. They said, well, do you want it to be a limited edition? Do you want it to be a special edition? Do you want it to have a number on it? I mean, so sometimes Retro has pens that will have numbers on them, but they're not a limited edition. And if the retailer wants, they can make more pens, even though it's got a number, but it's like just a number. It's not, one out of any given number. It's just one, not one of something. Yeah, well, Russell, I mean, I think Retro is kind of the exception to the rule, because I think everybody else sticks with either, if it's a limited edition, it's got a number. And I think that's what customers expect. But I don't know any other manufacturer that makes a pen and puts a number on it and doesn't call it a limited edition. I think Retro is maybe pretty unique in that offering. Sailor might call it limited production. Or they might tell you that there are only 500 pieces made, but they don't number them. There was a pink Custom 74. Was that in the U.S. market? Must have happened in the last year or so, huh? Do you think if I heat stamp a number and a rent of vintage pens, you can call them a limited edition, like number 1 of 20 Black SJ? That's really what I ought to do. Is I ought to do that. And then when I die and pass on my collection, somebody will get it and they'll be like, number 1 of 20. And we can have this April Fool's joke that goes on ad infinitum. Beautiful. That one's good to go. Lavender. Oh, Lavender custom font. Yeah. Well, it was a US exclusive. It wasn't a limited edition, though. Is it still available? Yeah, the only way to know if a numbered edition is limited is if it says, yeah, it's X out of certain number. Oh, I need to make room here. All right. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's still available. Well, let me tell you. Let me look at the price list. I want to say I saw it. Because when I had 5 hours to blow at the airport in Minneapolis, let's see. Where are you? 74. Here we go. Yeah, this is still on the price list. US, it's called the US exclusive. $300 MSRP custom 74 is outside your realm of interest. Well, the rest are $270. Yeah, the rest are $270. Hey, you know, I'll throw in a unpopular comment, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Unpopular opinion. At least it's a non-transparent custom 74 for the U.S. market. Who's sick of transparent custom 74s? Raise your hand. All right. It is very nice in person. All right, so I've got some pens to clean, so we can continue this conversation wherever it ends up. But speaking of Sailor, well, speaking of special editions, this one here, it was a limited edition. It was a special edition, 500 pieces made. And I think same with this one. Purple Cosmos. This is the Starburst Galaxy. But here, then this one here was a special edition. Pro Gear Fire. Sky, Earth, special editions. North American exclusive. Stormy Sea. And this one was a limited edition. I forget who made this one. If it was for anybody, I mean. But older Magellan. So I've got these pens to clean. You have one of the fire. I sold off a lot of my pens a couple years ago, and I've been slowly starting to buy some of the ones back or similar. And so I managed to come across a few, and they all need to be cleaned. So we're going to clean these today just for fun. They will not be for sale, but they're fun to look at and play with. What has this one got in it? Can't tell me there's shimmer ink in this thing, is there? Jeez. So I actually got 4 cups of water here today. Because I figure this is going to take some effort. But what am I doing here? This is dumb. This is a terrible, dumb idea. That's what I spent all this afternoon trying to find this stinking thing for. I'm going to try to avoid having to dunk these all in the ultrasonic. If I can help it. So I have this tray, and then I have another tray of pens too. So, but this is the beauty of the Sailor Maintenance Kit. It has basically a cartridge that has little tabs on there, and then it slots into your syringe, and then you can do this. And you can quickly and easily, sorry, my hand was in the way, flush and fill your pen. No monkey business. Boom, you're done. Especially on Sailor, when you get these pens that have transparent sections, they're not sealed. And so if you take the sections off and you put them in the ultrasonic, they will get water in between this part and the end of the nib, and then you will see the water in the section. And your only hope then is to hope it evaporates So that's the only way it's getting out. Just looked up, you got the Sailor. Now, it wouldn't be a 1911 Pro Gear. It would have been a Pro Gear. They didn't make them in 1911. Pro Gear Slim in fire in February 2021. That sounds probably right. Actually got a little leakage. On my piston here. So I'll fix that. I'm going to take this apart, clean this out, and put a little silicone on this piston head here. That should stop any. See if that's helps. Yep. That water looks nasty. I remember when this maintenance kit first came out, I thought this was the goofiest thing ever. I said, I am not going to carry that product. And then I actually got one and saw it. Actually, they improved it. They made it a little bit different. And I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. It sure makes short work of cleaning your sailors. And I got a feeling that every one of these, that's one of your favorite tools for cleaning. I was wondering if you were still on. I was going to ask how you liked it, because I know you got one with your most recent sailor. It's quite an ingenious little thing. Yeah, it's way better than a bulb syringe. Yeah. Because it fits, you know? I'm just going to disassemble this one too while I'm at it. And these converters are so easy to get apart. So, true story, in case you haven't heard me tell this one before. When Sailor came out with the Pro Gear Earth, I immediately called up and I'm like, well, because with the Sky, they put Sky on the cap band. I said, well, why didn't they do that for the Earth? And apparently it was like the most, if I could have seen them in person, I bet they'd have looked at me like I was from Mars, because apparently nobody thought about doing that. I mean, you did it with one, do it with the other. This one I remember when it came out. It was right the week of the Dallas Pen Show. Oh, I got a cartridge in here. I don't think I need that. Cut the back off a Lamy Pilot and standard cartridges, glued on the, I assume you mean lever locks on the back, and now you have ones for all your pens. Yeah, great with the 10 millimeter syringe body. This syringe is probably seeing the end of its useful life. I'm getting a little leakage behind the piston as I draw it up. But this one came out. Oh, Lawyer is a type of locking syringe. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. When this pen came out, we were literally selling this pen in the back of the car on the way to Dallas. It was hot. You feel like you need to hide them unless you're pen cleaning? Nice broad nib on this one. Millicalore. Medium nib. So. You corrected the entry for the Sailor Pro Gear in your inventory program? Yeah. Yeah, there was Sky, Earth, Fire. Was there a fourth one, or did they stop after Fire? I can't remember. Well, this one's got a lot of, you can even see it sheen on the back here. I think I'm going to drop this in the ultrasonic. You could probably buy any lawyer lock syringe to replace the one you have going bad and use a sailor attachment with it. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Lisa loves it when I give her a something. She's like, give her a task to buy something that I need. She'll get it ordered, then she says to me, "Oh, it'll be here Tuesday." Last week, I finally replaced my probably 10-year-old epoxy set. I needed to epoxy something, and it was like, you know, a strongman competition trying to get the stuff out. This one's got a little bit of ink in there. And there was some kind of green in this one. So now if I could get this unscrewed, because it is threaded, but it's hard as all get out. And to get the nib out, I could put it in my ultrasonic, but if I can't get it out, then I end up with water in between the section. So I'm just going to hold it in the ultrasonic for a little bit here. This has probably been, who knows how long this pen has been sitting since it was last inked. So I'm still getting light green coming out, but it's much better. I could probably sit here all day on these, but sometimes better is just better. And that's really all it needs to be is better. I think the Fire was one of the first ones, first King of Pens that came with the gold converter. Because up until this point, you couldn't get them in a gold converter. Secret Service.
What are we doing?
Cleaning pens.
Cleaning pens. Ooh, I got pens. You could clean my pens.
Yeah?
No.
No? Why not?
Hey, everybody. Anybody there?
People are there.
All right.
They're hanging out. Usual cast of misfits and characters.
Misfits. He called you misfits, everybody. Just jump right off the chat. Show him how you feel.
Ooh.
How rude.
Hi.
All right. I got to go back to work.
Okay. We'll see you in an hour and a half. I just lost my converter. Ah. My converter separated in my... Yeah, it's really pretty. Did I hear Lisa say Brian needs 2 death sets today? Yeah. She said she sure did. Misfit, you've been promoted. Well, merry misfits, right? I mean, you know, we're all happy. I'd rather be referred to as a misfit than any of a number of other things. Well, this one's caked up. Look at that. Sometimes this is what happens when you buy collections. They're all in need of work. I haven't been on eBay much lately, but every time I go, it's like I started working on the desk set project, and then I found like a couple of sets that I didn't have, and then that was it. I think this one here was a limited edition for Levenger. $50 pieces, because Levenger did a couple of Magellans in a day. Oops, wrong one. I think this one's a little bit cleaner. And it's different than the normal lapis pattern. 3 desk sets. I hope to find something in Chicago. Seems to be a better chance in Chicago to find desk sets. But if I remember, I need to I'll put out some feelers on some of the Facebook groups. As you always go to the show and then you talk to people and they say, well, what are you looking for? And they say, well, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. And they go, oh, I wish I'd have known I have those at home. I was looking for 51 desk pens. You think I could find one in Baltimore? There wasn't one to be found. I just love that cool old style nib. And it's 21 karat too. Boy, whatever was in this millicalori really stained the feed and the back of the nib. Something fierce. Speaking of death sets, just now won another Schaefer death set on eBay. You're a machine. So for those who are interested, I do offer this service to clean pens, by the way. I've had on many occasions people drop off 15, 20 pens. And then I'll go through and clean them and ultrasonic them and all that stuff. Price is very reasonable. You have a 5-shelf bookcase that has deep shelves, so there's plenty of space to put desk sets in front of the book. Oh, in front of the books. Oh, okay. Maybe some pens with shimmer ink left in them to add a sparkle to your day. You know, I've never put shimmer ink in any of my pens. I like the concept. I think it looks cool. I'm just probably not ever going to do it. I think the maintenance is probably what turns me off the most. Micah's fun. You did when Rouge Hematite first came out. It was such a novelty, right? I mean, when Rouge Hematite came out, there wasn't really anybody else doing it. And then, you know, they'd come out with one a year and you'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then all of a sudden it was, the Diamine came out with Shimmertastic, said, hey, let's do 16 or whatever. And it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of ruined the novelty of it with that many. You know what? I bet this would really, really turn out. I'm going to drop it in my Dr. G's here for a minute. You like shimmer inks, but you don't put it in your vintage pens or expensive pens. And it has to be a medium nib or bigger or higher. Yeah. I mean, if you put it in a vintage pen, it better be like a Parker 45 or something that you can completely disassemble. You stop doing shimmer because of maintenance? You could do a dedicated pen and a dedicated ink, maybe a TWSBI swipe. Yeah. All right, so we'll wait to see what the feed looks like. It's just really red. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's such a pretty color. Although I had to laugh because metallic, this was actually metallic blue. Wait, we're supposed to do maintenance with shimmer inks? Oops. Yeah, right. When the metallic blue, which was released, I forget what year it was released. I remember at one point they came back and they said, "Oh, we've got like a few pieces of this left," and I bought everything that Atoya USA had in stock at the time. I said, "That's a great color. We'll take it." And we sold out of the color like immediately, and I emailed them immediately and I said, "That is such a great color. We just sold out," because they told me it was no longer going to be made. I said, "If we could do that," and it was in a Pro Gear Slim. I said, "If we could do that color in an exclusive, I would do it in a 1911, and I would do it immediately." They said, "Oh, no, we can't do that." Next summer, Stormy Sea. Sailor's going all out with new colors for the Tuzu. I haven't seen too many. It must be something new because I haven't got any notice that I'm aware of on new Tuzu colors. And unfortunately, even though it's a great pen, it has not been as good a seller as I thought it might be. I'm expecting to get the Sailor Casual 1911 Casual L sometime within the next 2 weeks. There's a sample kit, and I'm hoping they use the nibs, similar nibs that they used in the Tuzu, because the Tuzu nibs are really good. You don't have a Tuzu, you don't plan to either. I mean, if you need a pen that you're just gonna kick around, you know, it feels more substantial than in my opinion, it feels more substantial than say a Lamy Safari. You can adjust that grip if that's important to you. Comes with a converter. I mean, it's really a nice package. But obviously they're not going to use those specific nibs on the Casual L, but if they use that as the basis, as opposed to the nibs, nibs that they used on the Compass, which I didn't think were all that good. I maybe a little. I think the Tuzu nibs seem to be a little bit thicker. They're a little bit more sturdy. I mean, yeah, they're not the type of pen that you're going to bring into the boardroom or anything like that, but they quite frankly, they just work. All right, we're almost done with this tray. Then I've got another tray of other stuff, which is completely different. Which will represent other cleaning challenges, because I don't have a Schaefer attachment for my syringe here. This one's pretty clean. But I mean, this would take forever if you had to sit there with a syringe and twist it one way, twist it another. You don't like the paper clip? Well, let's take a look at the... I can't imagine this is going to take too much effort to get this. So there we go, yet another use that's perfectly black now. And this nib was sitting in the ultrasonic. You know what? There's a little bit of ink on there. I just want to get hit it with the gloss. I just like this to be nice and clean. You somehow went a bit nuts with Vacuumatics. You found a pen to scavenge the nib from, but decided you might keep it as is. Found a different one that has some damage, though. Then you bought a dual pulled back. You just looked at pictures of the casual owl. Looks like there's no branding at all in the nibs. Admittedly, the images I've seen of it I don't think are that great. I don't think they represent the pen very well. I would like to see them a little bit closer, which is why obviously I'm getting a set. They estimate that steel nib pens are soon going to account to over 50% of all Sailor pen sales. Which is pretty high praise. It's a bit sad, but you get it. Yeah, I mean, all right. Now, if it is like the Tuzu nib is pretty plain too. All right, next up. We got a couple Schaefer Legacies. Heritage in sterling. We've got a matte gold finish. We've got this is a Legacy 2. With the plunger. We've got an orange 45 with the stub nib. We have I believe this is a first year, not necessarily even first gen, but a first year 75 because of the way the clip is. I have to double check that, but the way the clip is aligned in the top of the flat tassie. This guy needs some help. One of my favorite Parker pens, the Falcon 50, also needs some help. And then I got a couple, these two here I just recently bought. This Cross, which I'm just going to drop this into ultrasonic right now. And a Pilot Elite. Which apparently was inked. Ironically, I traded these, the Cross and the Elite, and that Mont Blanc that I showed off on Friday, for Schaefer Legacy in cash. Well, I don't know what ink was in there, but it's going in the ultrasonic. Beautiful part about most of these is I probably can do the same. Yeah, I don't. That's some red ink was in that. What do I think of the Flanders race? I was trying like the Dickens to try to get to watch it, but it was not available in the United States. I could not watch it. Yeah, the company that made 24 karat gold not 35, 40 years ago. Yeah, I know. So I really wanted to watch it, but unbranded nib makes the pen incomplete. I don't know. I don't think it always does. I mean, it's nice. I mean, I think it's got an anchor on it. I don't think it's just a plain nib. But again, I don't have them in hand. Hello, Robert. Oh, this is jammed up. I can't even press the... Either that or that converter no longer works. Yeah, I think there's something jammed up in that pen. You've got a dozen Vacuumatics to restore? Sorry, I'm not doing much in the way of pen repairs today. I'm doing more cleaning than anything else, but... The orange is a hard to find color in the 45. What a beautiful looking Legacy, isn't it? Gold stripes. Gold lined, I guess. I'll bet you this doesn't even have. I guess before I try to make that work. See if I even have that converter in there. No, I don't. I got a cartridge in there. Yeah, Legacies are great. Especially the old ones. Not necessarily the touchdown aspect of it, because that never really seemed to work very well. I'm just going to drop this in there. Well, the inner cap is cracked on that one. This Sterling one is awesome. Well, none of the Sailor nibs have 1911 on them. That feature has been gone for years. They took that away. You know, this pen here has been discontinued for how long? And this is the new nib design. They took away the 1911. So, it's not as significant as that makes it out to be. Yeah. That's a point A that you've been having issues with. It does not do complete research. Yeah, I would really love to see people stop using it, especially for pen related things, because it's just never. It's never very accurate. And it just leaves more questions than it answers. All right, well, that's... I just got done. Lisa just washed all my towels for me. I guess that's what they're there for, though, huh? Today, you've been watching the U.S.-Canada crew live feed as they're about to turn around the moon, and a brand new M800 fine nib arrived from Toronto area to swap out with your broad nib. Yeah, the moon thing is exciting, huh? Artemis? I somehow completely missed that announcement in the news. Hmm. Boy, this 75 is really jammed up. Let's try the Dr. G's. Let's see if the touchdown part was a fun idea. It works okay. Yeah. It was I mean, I got to give him props for at least trying it, right? But it's just easier to not do it. AI puts together information that it thinks the person wants to see instead of the facts without making guesses. Yeah, I mean, it's... Holy crap, this is a gold nib on this cross. I didn't even notice that. Fresh sack and the special converter, and it works as well as the Ventus touchdowns. You're going to have to school me on that because every time I've tried to take one of those apart, always nice to find a 14 karat nib when you're not expecting it. Yeah, and this is 18 karat. I think this is 18 karat. Yeah. 18 karat nib? A cross? Holy cow, this water is nasty. I gotta clean this out. I thought I'd be able to get through today without having to. Literally had 4 cups of water here for cleaning. Sorry if this is the most boring stream ever, but you know, sometimes it's not all glamorous. All right. Well, at least I can see what's in here. Oh, and there's still ink coming out. I was going to pull that 45 section out, and it's still. Did the garage finally get the new tire put on the car? They did. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, and then they told me, said, well, but they didn't. They screwed up. They got the wrong part from VW for the inside the engine compartment for the cowl area. They got a 2-piece unit instead of a 1-piece unit, and it did not fit properly. And so they said, well, we're going to order the next one. It should be here in a couple of days. Well, here we are 2 weeks later. Yeah, bonus round. Yeah, how a $75 pen turns into $175. Yeah, 2 gallons of water. So at least the tire is good. I'm having a hard time seeing if this. I'm getting a little bit of. Trying to create a little capillary action there, I guess. And I'm getting a little bit of ink coming off the nib, so. But I can still see some in there, and so it's not really. Coming out very well yet. You had the Tour of Flanders live there, you lucky dog. I'm just believe it or not, I'm just finishing up Tirreno Adriatico, and then I'm moving on to Paris-Nice next, and then the 73 other races that have happened since that happened last month. One of your public broadcasters shows all the spring classics. Can't wait for next Sunday for Roubaix. Oh, is Roubaix next Sunday? I think that's actually on HBO Max, so I think I should be good there. But I just can't believe I couldn't watch the Tour of Flanders. I mean, Pogačar wins. I want to see it because it's usually, it's usually fantastic. And the women's race sounded like it was pretty awesome too. But I only watch it when I ride, so it either forces me to ride longer or it just takes me forever to watch it. And once the Giro comes, the Giro and the Tour are about the only 2 instances where I may force Lisa to watch it, because otherwise I get, I could get a week behind, and then I can't be on social media, because inevitably I'll subscribe to all the different news outlets, and I'll hear who won the race or something spectacular happened or whatever, and then I don't get to watch it live, and not live, but they have the suspense of what's really going on. So I got to try to watch it every day and finish it every day, and sometimes I will just fast forward a little bit. If it's the Vuelta, yeah, I kind of fast forward. If it's looking like it's a stage for the breakaway and there's 6 minutes ahead, then that's pretty boring, But got to get up just to look in here. My water is already turned dark blue. And sometimes you just got to Force the ink through there. And then you get these cool little ink droplets in the water. And sometimes it's kind of the real way to tell if something's clogged or not. Now this Elite is now nice and clean. I'm getting this dirty. All right. Let me wipe this off before. Hey, Spicy. My back is ready to carry you to the moon, yeah. Well, I had this problem with another 75 recently, and it just did not. I couldn't get it to blow through. It's just not. Out of curiosity, is a stupid war affecting your business? Well, you know, gas is expensive. I mean, it hasn't immediately come through that way, other than just, you know, my recent antiquing trip cost me almost twice as much as it normally would have. I mean, I haven't I haven't seen numbers like that at a gas pump in ages. Pens are more expensive for other reasons, tariffs and all that jazz. But you know, and of course, my car's a diesel, so the two cars I have, one uses diesel and one uses premium. So you know, it's $5 a gallon, which I realize is, you know, has been that or higher in Europe for forever, but it hurts here in the States, that's for sure. Boy, oh boy, I can't believe, you know, I thought this was, sometimes you change out the water once and that's all you need. It's now completely black. Yeah, tariffs did the job, and that's why all your Japanese pens here are one of the main reasons that they've gone up. That and the price of gold, of course, but I see. This is so dirty. Not dirty. It's actually not bad, but I just can't see. Enough to see if it's coming out. You got to run. All right, David. We'll see you later. Yeah, Platinum Pilot went up. Sailor went up. They all went up. Everybody went up. All right, I'm going to get rid of this dirty water here. I used to love it at the old shop. We had the ultrasonic right next to a sink, and then we just drained it right into the sink. It was awesome. I'm going to change this out again. It's just, I got plenty of water here, but when you can't see if things are done or not, it gets kind of yeah, there are two. Yeah, sorry, there are two chat streams. There's one on Twitch, which, if you're on YouTube, you see it in the bottom corner here, and then the rest is on YouTube. All right. That's getting there. It still has a little bit of stuff in it. The Falcon and the two Legacies have the most ink in them I've ever seen in just about anything. These guys, I think, are pretty clean, though. kind of a weird black spot on this cross. See if I can just... Yeah, come off on the Q-tip a little bit. So I haven't seen Gary. Is Pogacar in the lineup for Roubaix this weekend? Always such a fun race. Sales will continue to meet Canadians buy pens and constantly saw rising prices with low Canadian dollar in exchange against US pricing. Yeah, there's still going to be. There's still going to be people who buy. That one looks good. There were two mediums. One had more tipping than the other, which was really very strange. Not that one was missing tipping, but it just wasn't ground down. So how hard are these feeds going to be to clean with some Pyrite 2026 ink of the year fully dried in them? Man, I don't know. That's some like shimmery stuff, man. I think Pelican's going to be a hard sell if that price goes up anymore. I mean, it's always been a hard sell for me. U.S. prices not sort of set by the distributor, not Germany. I'm not sure exactly how they're set. There are rules in place with regard to what the maximum allowable discount is, which in the U.S. is 20%. Chart Pack is no longer the U.S. distributor. That changeover occurred recently, within the last couple of months. Well, actually, it was end of last year, I think. It is now Coles of London who distributes Visconti. You noticed earlier with the blue Pilot cartridge in a custom 912 feet is now tinted blue even after a soak. Try some Dr. G's. I think that will solve the problem. That guy looks good. So this Cross and this Elite are actually going to will be going up for sale at some point. You guys should need a new order. There is seemingly no end to the amount of ink that's coming out of these Schaefer, and especially that Falcon section. I mean, look at that. That's after 2 gallons of water have been flushed through this thing. Yeah, you didn't think you'd be coming up here again anytime soon, did you? If you're going to Chicago Pen Show, I think you're going to Pen Show, I can deliver it for you. Okay, so at least this is now taking in ink. It was not doing that before. There's always a reason to stop by. You weren't playing at Chicago yet? Well, you still got a couple weeks to make up your mind. Yeah, we don't need to talk about petrol. Well, Dark Side of the Moon action, I think, I bet that's hitting new heights on Spotify today. You forgot some hand cleaner too? Yeah, and the new jar is nice. All right. Well, I'm going to spin some of these out. I got a couple minutes left, and then I got to cook. Get out of here. Yeah, it's exciting. It'll be cool when we go and go back to the moon and maybe do something cool with that. Your retailer finally has Kobe. They were not popular here when we had them. I mean, we sold them, but cousin of yours walked on the moon. Alan Bean was your cousin? Curious whatever happened to Eric. Well, he doesn't work for me anymore, so. He does some work for a local, it's a butcher shop. Does a lot of their social media and they do a podcast. I don't know who Teranashi is. Tasha's not having any problems whatsoever. They just came out with their Ukiyo-e Kuniyoshi Series 3 inks, and they were wildly popular. In fact, I placed another order this morning for them, or more. I just don't think that they buy enough. Koei and Sabi Midori and the Ukiyo-e series, always out of stock because they don't make enough of it. No, I think he's in town. Well, I'm sure of it. I know he is. Well, these fit in the spinner nicely. You like the golden wheat? Yeah, the Suchi is popular. In the standard line, it's very popular. It's been that way for a long time. I mean, for years. It's not uncommon for Koei and Sabi Midori to be out of stock for 4 months, 5 months. You know, and then one day it shows up and then you sell out and you go to order it again and they're out again, I wonder if these are going to fit. I bet they're not going to fit. Yeah, they don't really fit. Your Wall Doric arrived the other day. Got it at such a good price. You will no doubt start off collecting them. They are pretty pens. The Visconti logo will look nice in the bottom of the pen. Just need to find a magnet to remove the initials that are on it. Yeah, it's not too hard. Like almost any reasonably strong magnet will work. They come off reasonably easy. Sorry, I didn't notice that. That's the one. It's the only pen in the entire Visconti lineup that doesn't have the My Pen on the top, where you always see it. And I didn't even think to look. Well, there's still ink coming out of these, even though we cleaned them real well. There's just that last couple of drops. So Gary, I've got a real dilemma today. I had to buy a new saddle for my bike. Tuesday is my normal day off. I ride the other 6 days of the week. But after 12,200 miles on the trainer, the rails on my saddle cracked. And it's like sitting on a time bomb. So the question is do I do tonight's ride and then put it on while I've got tomorrow off to deal with making sure the measurements are correct and all that stuff, or do I spend the time to put it on tonight and then ride? There's your answer, Robert. I'm not using them to wash nibs. I'm using them to spin out the excess moisture that's in the pens. And you can see that's the extra stuff that maybe didn't come out the first time. So, and then usually what I do is I leave these sit. If there's any moisture in them whatsoever, they usually will just evaporate overnight. And these kings won't fit in there. Unfortunately. So I kind of have to shake those out. Yeah, I've got like several members of the local pen club now are using these. All right, so those are good. I still got 2 nibs in the ultrasonic, the 75 and the I can't even see. I can't even see. I think the 75 is finally, the blockage is coming clear. And this has been running solid black. Unbelievable. At least it's not clogged. Don't use Kleenex at the bottom of the glass and just leave them to stand up in the glass. Well, that might work, except I'm trying to do a lot of pens. It really gets kind of tedious. Now this is finally, I think, out. If you've only got 1 or 2 pens, that absolutely will work. But usually, like for example, these last 2 pens here, it looks like I got some water in my tray, ink in my tray. These 2 pens here will be up for sale, and I need them to be absolutely perfectly dry for photography. So the salad spinner is just the best way to do it. You've been trying to get me to carry the modification parts to make a fountain pen salad spinner? If it wouldn't be so prohibitively expensive to ship. But it would almost have to be this salad spinner because I love this one. Time for you to go all in on salad spinners? You should. All right, let's see if this 75, maybe I can get... Oh, just the turkey baster part? Yay, there we go. Finally, after soaking in the Dr. G's, ultrasonic, Dr. G's, ultrasonic, Dr. G's. There's some red ink in there of some sort. Whoops. Should have done that over that. Jeez, come on, Brian. All right, I'm going to put that in the ultrasonic. I'll let that soak overnight. It's pretty good. But I'm going to need to change the water out on that yet one more time. So, well, that was not a lot of repair, but a lot of cleaning. And sometimes cleaning is like, I mean, it is repair. Yeah, the Microgloss is really, I think, the best. Microgloss 5 is so awesome for removing any kind of residual ink stains on a nib. It's just so good. It's so good. It's better than I mean, I guess you could use a polishing attachment. That's way overkill on a nib, I think. Microgloss 5 and a Q-tip. It's all I ever use. Little elbow grease and you're good to go. So, well, that's good. And I'm kind of biding my time because I'm so far ahead of pens I need to shoot for the website. So I'm going to be cleaning some pens and doing a little bit of that. Or at least, maybe the next few weeks until we can get a little bit closer to caught up. Not that I'm running out of pens to repair. I certainly have plenty to repair, but I've got some Vacuumatics in the queue, and until I can get my Vacuumatic filling units, which now doesn't seem like it's going to be, I probably won't have them until, with everything else that's coming up. I got Chicago coming up, and saving up for DC. It's probably going to be August until I have those, so I don't really want to jump into a batch of Vacuumatics without having the proper parts ready just in case. So we'll clean some pens. We'll do a few repairs here and there. I've got let's see, what do I have? I got a couple we can certainly tackle. I got it now that I know that stupid button comes out of that VS style unit, which I didn't know it came out that way. Then we can get that one fixed up tomorrow. I'll have to put a new sack on it because it actually scraped the sack and punctured it. So, but that's how it goes sometimes. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, everyone. Good chatting, and have a good rest of your evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow. Right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.